the first ever progressive role-playing fighting game, Game of the Immortals. Available now on Google Play and App Store. 𝐍ᴜᴅጵᴇ. Join the action-packed battles of Game of the Immortals. Introducing Johnny Park, Natalia, Kenjiro. Soon to unlock Marinli, Sister Christina. Hurry and play now to unlock more levels. Game of the Immortals, available on Google Play and App Store. Download now. 𝐍ᴜᴅጵᴇ. Download now. Available on Google Play and App Store. 𝐍ᴜᴅጵᴇ.
This copyrighted broadcast of the National Athletic Association of Schools, Colleges, and Universities may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the express written consent of Nudge Plus.
We'll have another chance to witness the future young stars of Philippine basketball through the 22nd season of NAASCU Usad sa 22. And 3 games already done, 2 more games including this one, so that's 1 more after this one. But for now, we'll be having the MLQU Stallions going up against the St. Clair Saints. And definitely it'll be a thrilling matchup as, of course, we all know St. Clair, a champion team, the champions for the past how many years already? And
6 consecutive.
Yes, and MLQU winless in their last season, so definitely they want to bounce back. They're eager, they're determined to bounce back, and who better to beat, who better to get your first win of the season than against the champion team. So who knows, an upset might be in store for us, or St. Clair will continue their winning ways. We never know what's going to happen, but that is college basketball for everybody. Right now, we're just waiting for the start of our ball game, but for the meantime, we'll be turning it over to Stephanie Benito for a pre-game report.
Expect a different, even better MLQU Stallions this season. Ito ang sabi sa akin kanina ni Coach Joshua Nicolas when I asked him how he's doing following their winless season 21. Medyo malaki daw ang naging changes ng kuponan pagdating sa lineup compared to their last season, but rest assured that this team now is even more athletic than ever. Now they're going up against this league's defending champions, the St. Clair Saints, who has made promise naman daw to coach that 𝐍𝐜ⴅᴜ rather, to just keep on getting better every single day. Now, will the Stallions sting the Saints this time? Abangan natin yan.
Thank you very much, Steph, for that pre-game report. Again, the Saints going up against the Stallions in this matchup.
Yes.
It'll be interesting to see how MLQU will combat, you know, the force to be reckoned with, that is the St. Clair Saints. I mean, you know, they have, first and foremost, they have the 4-student athlete in Babacar Undong. And then they also have Aaron Estacio playing his last year already. Same with Ryan Suwal, one-and-done player for he was dominating it.
Yes, he's the leader in assist during that time with 2.7 steals per game for Marikina Showmasters. I'm talking about Aaron Estacio.
So both of those players, namely Suwal and Estacio, having already professional experience. Of course, Coach Ginino Mananzala, one of the more known college basketball coaches in our country. So definitely that's going to be a tall order for the MLQU Stallions. They don't have their Saints. So again, it's going to be literally a mountain to climb for the MLQU Stallions. But then again, you know, nothing is impossible, especially with college basketball.
Yes, that's why I want to see how MLQU or Manuel L. Quezon University will approach this game, if they will be intimidated by playing against the defending champions, or they will prove that they belong in this league.
That is something we hope to see. Right now it'll be a jump ball. First possession of the game belonging to the Saints. Burgos has a basketball, finds Babacar Endong. Hands it off to Acosta. The pick from Endong. Estacio has it. Aaron Estacio Picks up the basketball, sends it inside. What a find! That was 𝐍𝐀𝐀𝐒𝐂𝐔 completing the play.
And great cut there by 𝐍𝐀𝐀𝐒𝐂𝐔, rather.
That is 𝐍𝐀𝐀𝐒𝐂𝐔 once again. Meanwhile, that's going to be a miss for the Stallions. Another chance for St. Clair to capitalize. The run, no good. That was Burgos attempting the shot. Meanwhile, here comes Jadi Antonio. MLQU choosing to reset. Julian provides the pick. Dino has it. That's intercepted by Aaron Estacio. Estacio, the ball is with him. Sends it to the other wing. Burgos for three, sinks that one.
Another assist there by Estacio for an open teammate, Burgos.
So 5-0 is the score. Jadi Antonio has a basketball. Another turnover for the MLQU Stallions.
And that's the first thing that you need to take care of. Handling the leather with the pressure of like St. Clair's defense.
Meanwhile, Babacar Endong off the glass. That's good on his attack.
And that's going to be a mismatch all day long by this guy, Nodong.
So it's 7-0 in favor of St. Clair as Estacio nabs a steal. Aaron Estacio, high pass. Alexi Gazingan, no good at that shot. Here comes Verdos, drops it. Julian, unable to score. Still no points for the MLQU Stallions. Estacio puts one up. Aaron Estacio, difficult shot.
Off-balance shot there by Estacio. That's his first basket of the game.
And the champions on a 9-0 run. And we'll take a short break. Back to the action right here. It's 9-0 in favor of the St. Clair Saints. After that wild, difficult shot from Aaron Estacio. So this run alone will tell you what kind of team St. Clair is. And I'm sure the message has been sent to the Stallions as they still have 0 points. But that'll change with this Steven Gabriel Dino 3.
You gotta appreciate the execution of Manuel Alquezon, moving the ball around and finding that three-point basket.
Meanwhile, that's out of bounds. Last touch on Enciso. So possession will stay with the St. Clair Saints. Gazingan sends it out. Estacio has it. The pick from Endong. Another pick from Babacar. Estacio drops it inside. And Burgos puts one up.
Another mismatch there by Burgos against Placido.
Jadi Antonio. To Dino, another try from deep. That won't work, out of bounds, and it's now with the Saints. Gazingan receives it as Estacio was closely guarded. Meanwhile, Acosta backing down Dino. Acosta scoring against Dino, +1.
You can see each and every position is a mismatch against Manuel Alquezon.
So Acosta will go to the line for a chance to make it a 3-point play. As St. Clair is up by 8, a chance to make it 9. Oh, wait a minute, they're up by 10 already. So that's double digits. But now, It's MLQ's possession, a chance to answer back. As it's Jadi Antonio bringing it down. And 𝐍𝐀𝐀𝐒𝐒 against Estacio, but looks like Aaron Estacio will get called for a foul. Both teams, one foul each. Steven Dino finds Julian. This time it's Jadi Antonio being double teamed. But he puts one up that is erased by Babacar Endong.
Great defense there by Endong. That's his first block of the game.
Antonio, high pass. Tolentino has it. He will stop. It's back to Jadi Antonio. Julian against Babacar Endong. And that'll be a shot clock of violation. St. Clair just really dominating this early. Having a commanding lead already of 10 in this first period. Here comes Aaron Estacio, playing his last collegiate year. And already playing professional, by the way. But for now, we'll be turning it over to Stephanie Benito for a report.
Kahit nasa Saints ang kampyonato at kahit hindi pa sila natatalo this season, lagi pa rin silang pinaalalahanan ni Coach Ginino Manansala to not be complacent and to give their all every single game. Sa katunayan, may dalawang lapses na nakita si Coach during the first two games that the team worked on. Una, pagdating daw sa free throw shooting, 55% lang daw ang average ng team. At ang pangalawa, they committed 22 turnovers in the first two games na hindi naman dapat nangyayari. Kaya para sa araw na ito, he reminded his team to apply what was taught during training and to not underestimate the Stallions. Naging head coach din daw kasi si Coach Ginino ng Stallions years ago, kaya alam itong gusto ng kabilang koponan na matalo sila. Your thoughts on this, gentlemen?
Thank you very much, Stephanie, for that report, and a full circle moment for Coach Ginino Manansala. But again, you gotta love the mindset of Coach Manansala. I mean, not being complacent despite, you know, I'm sure he knows that MLQ isn't exactly the team to beat.
Yes. And for sure, they want to make a name out of themselves also. I'm talking about MLQU.
Meanwhile, Estacio has the basketball. Acosta asking for it. Estacio will give it to Acosta. He attacks. Acosta, that's good.
What a layup there by Acosta. Clearing away with his defender so easily.
To make that 3 dimes already for Aaron Estacio in this game. Meanwhile, MLQU being pressured. The steal by Gazingan. No defender inside. Gazingan will lay it up and in.
And unfortunately, that's the 5th turnover of Manuel Alquezon.
And not to mention, it's a 14-point lead. A commanding, demanding lead for the side of the Saints. Meanwhile, Babacar Endong to Estacio. And Aaron will get fouled. Could have been an end one, but nonetheless, they're up by a bunch. He'll go to the free throw line for 2.
That's a foul on Tolentino. That's his first personal foul. Puts them in, they're in the 3rd team foul for Manuel Alquezon.
So Estacio, first freebie is no good. Second one on its way for the veteran. He'll go 1 out of 2. Right now, 15-point lead for the Saints. And I'm sure they're not slowing down anytime soon. And right now, arriving in the building are the homeowners, the PCU Dolphins, who will be playing later on. After this game, by the way. So better stay tuned to that. Meanwhile, still not falling for the Stallions. And you gotta really commend the defense of St. Clair, but finally, Tolentino nabbing a bucket.
Well, that's a great effort for Tolentino, getting that first basket.
However, Babacar Endong will answer back with his own 2-pointer.
And And that was an easy lay-in for Indong.
So that's 20 points already in this first period for the St. Clair Saints. Meanwhile, Endong grabs the board. However, he will lose it. But a steal right here by Sual. Almost a steal, a counter steal, but Burgos will complete it. May top board pa.
That's a great layup there by Burgos, anticipating that leak out.
Meanwhile, mid-range jumper, that will sink.
That's a back-to-back basket by Tolentino.
That's Gregory Tolentino. However, MLQU still down by 15, and Babacar Endong continues to punish them inside the paint.
Unfortunately, no one is defending Endong in that sequence.
Manriza has it. He's up against Ryan Sual. Again, a one-and-done player for the Saints. That's no good. Great defense from Babacar Endong. Meanwhile, Ryan Sual will fire for three. That's what he can do.
First attempt, first made basket para dito kay Sual.
In their first game, Ryan Sual was actually the best player of the game, brought to us by Synergy. So, no surprise, he's one of the main contributors. Meanwhile, Enciso drops it. The fadeaway, Tolentino. No good for Gregory Tolentino. Great defense from JB Lim, the rookie. Meanwhile, Ryan Sual, not the rookie, but the veteran, will miss that three-point attempt. So MLQU down by 20 right now. St. Clair again, really just punishing their opponents. Manriza drops it. Tolentino, no good. Castro gets it back. Basket and one. As finally, Hubert Castro will score.
Unfortunately, Endong wasn't there in the paint, walking on the half-court line. Good thing Castro was able to take advantage of that possession.
So a couple of new faces right here for the side of St. Clair. We're seeing Clint Manzano. We're seeing number 19. It's Balakaok. As well as JB Lim, who just entered as well recently. And of course, Samboy de Guzman. Meanwhile, Manzano to Balakaok. Great find.
And that's a great pass there by Manzano.
And that'll be it for chapter number 1, 29 to 10, a 19-point lead in favor of the champs, the reigning champs. The champs for how many years already? The St. Clair College of Caloocan Saints. And we return after a short break. Once again, this is the NAASCU Season 22, Usad sa 22. Back to the action right here, 29 to 10. It's a 19-point lead in favor of the St. Clair Saints. They're not looking to slow down anytime soon. As their second unit, Balakaok, De Guzman, Manzano, Lim, and Sual are no jokes. I mean, JB Lim, first and foremost, coming from UST High School. And then we have Clint Manzano making a name for himself in a different youth league in the junior MPBL. And of course, we have Ryan Sual making a name for himself. Of course, was part of the Mapua Cardinals and of course the MPBL. At that time, it's going to be a turnover for MLQU.
And you can see how St. Clair is trying to defend MLQU. It's trying to be physical.
It looks like St. Clair will look to bury their opponents down the grave early in this ball game. As they're up by 19 and they still want more, and they will get more. As Manzano will go to the line.
But that was a great execution in the part of Lim, finding that cutting Manzano.
The tenacity of Manzano getting those rebounds. You gotta love it, but unable to make it. Nonetheless, 2 freebies coming up for Clint Manzano. And then it is high school in Diandi National High School. As the first freebie is good for the 6'3" power forward of St. Clair.
A power forward who can bring down the ball and shoot for an open jumper.
And he'll go 2 out of 2, make that a 21-point lead for the Saints. GB Lim guarding, that was number 25 of MLQU, De Guzman. Meanwhile, the other De Guzman of St. Clair will get fouled and he'll get 2 free throws of his own.
You can see St. Clair really pounding it off in the paint area, trying to dominate in the paint.
So there's Samboy De Guzman at the line of George Juan Luna High School. Attended that school during his high school days. First one is good for the 5'11" small forward of St. Clair.
And that's his first bucket of the game.
And MLQU still struggling. But St. Clair not looking to slow down anytime soon. It's now a 23-point lead. I mean, if this climbs up to a 30-point lead before halftime, and it will be almost impossible for MLQU to climb back. Meanwhile, Tolentino Gregory, one of the bright spots of this MLQU team.
Yes, and he's getting those open jumpers every time he has a teammate who tries to kick it out.
So while all the way from Caloocan hits that 3-point bomb.
What a shot there by Soal.
Meanwhile, almost out of bounds, Garcera unable to hit that 3. Rebound by Samboy De Guzman. That's gonna be a turnover called on Samboy De Guzman, so possession will go back to the Stallions. Castro trying to get free. They find Garcera against JB Lim. Has nowhere to go. They swing it around. MLQ still with his possession. Enciso sends it out. Garcera will attack. One-hander, no good. The putback is good though for Enciso.
Good patience there in the part of MLQU, and a good putback there by Enciso.
St. Clair swings it around the arc. Sual sends it inside to Manzano at the elbow. Baseline drive by Samboy De Guzman. And a steal garnered by MLQU, but a counter steal by JB Lim. Samboy De Guzman, the bump, scoops it up, but won't scoop it in. So another pair of freebies for the Saints as they're up by, what, 22?
22 points.
Just another day in the office for the Saints, as the Saints will call a timeout right here and will return for more action.
Aminado si Coach Joshua Nicolas ng MLQU Stallions sa bilib siya sa set plays ng defending champions. Kaya naman in today's game, they made sure to prepare a defensive scheme to help the Saints, to stop the Saints offense. So far, nahihirapan pa daw silang i-execute. Para sa araw na ito, nagtitiwala din si Coach Joshua sa kanyang mga wingmen dahil sa outside shooting, still na ito sila nakakapuntos during their previous games. Muling paalala ni Coach sa team, huwag padalian ang buhay ng kabilang koponan. If they're having a hard time scoring, they have to make sure that the Saints are feeling the same way. Gentlemen?
Thank you very much, Stephanie, for that report. And indeed, that'll be what the MLQU Stallions want to do. Obviously, it's easier said than done.
Yes, and you can see that they're doing their best to execute their plays and on the defensive end, trying to be physical as much as they can.
Meanwhile, the Saints swing it around the arc. Ryan Suwal will attack baseline, will drop it last minute. Great find to his open teammate in 𝐍𝐀𝐀𝐒𝐒𝐔. So it's 40-16. Make that a 24-point lead on the side of St. Clair. But MLQU still looking determined. As Steven Dinho will trigger the inbound. He'll find his teammate 𝐍𝐁. Coach 𝐍ᴜᴅÄ signaling a play for his Saints. That's going to be a foul on MLQU.
Actually, they're doing blitz action when they're trying to double team the guard of MLQU.
So a foul rather called on St. Clair. 𝐍𝐁 nowhere to go. And no good coming from Julian. This time it's Joshua Russell. Just entered the ball game. Meanwhile, it's back to Russell from Loyola, who just also entered the ball game. No good from 𝐍𝐻𝐶, but the putback follow-up coming from Clint Manzano.
That's the 6th point of Clint Manzano.
Meanwhile, great defense coming from Manzano in 𝐍𝐻𝐶. Here comes Joshua Russell. Will attack. Russell hands it off. 4-point swing for Clint Manzano.
Another great pass there by Russell, attacking the basket and absorbing the defense and passing it to Manzano.
Manzano fired up on that sequence. As first, he was able to score off that follow-up putback. Then Joshua Russell finding him for that open deuce. St. Clair up by a bunch. We return for more action. Back to the action right here. Again, it's St. Clair up by a bunch. Commanding lead being handled by the Saints. As MLQU who will have this possession. 𝐍𝐁 having this basketball on his hands, but a steal by Loyola. And another 2 points converted by St. Clair.
Another steal there by Loyola. And that's the 6th steal para dito sa St. Clair.
And that's a 30-point lead already for the Saints. And that's no good coming from Julian. Here comes St. Clair, 3-point attempt. No good. Rebound by Dinho. 𝐍𝐁 brings it down. Jadi Antonio from deep. They're unable to register. And Antonio will intercept the pass. The Stallions have it back. Garcera, Antonio. Dino was asking for it, but he sends it instead to Julian.
Great find there para dito kay Antonio for his big man Julian.
A foul on the floor for the Saints. Both teams now 3 fouls each. Baba Carendon comes in, or at least comes back. And it's number 11 of St. Clair. That is Burgos. Also coming back. Meanwhile, Garcera has nowhere to go. In the middle, that's good. Coming from Placido.
And those are the shots that MLQU needs to make, those short jumpers.
St. Clair. Babacar Endong losing the handle, so possession will go back to the Stallions.
Julian trying to be physical with Endong in that sequence. Good thing he wasn't able to get a foul there.
Placido has it. That shot is good coming from Jadi Antonio.
And Antonio knows that that shot is coming in.
The lead is trimmed to 25. Still a big one. But MLQU doing things slowly but surely. As Russell sends it to the other side. It's back to Joshua Russell. He attacks. No good. He was looking for a foul. But there was no call. Meanwhile, Placido sends it inside. But that was stolen by Babacar Endong.
Great anticipation there by Endong.
Joshua Russell short on that attack. It's still with St. Clair. Loyola. This time it's Charles Burgos. A bumping basket to end one. A chance to make it a 3-point play. And before halftime, St. Clair on the verge of scoring already 50 points. As we'll take another look on this attack. Again, it's Charles Burgos making the Stallions pay. Garcera, the crossover. Loyola stays on him. Jadi Antonio to Placido. Antonio asking for it. Jadi Antonio steps back. Out to Dino. Dino sends it to the other side. Garcera. Julian. Blocked by Charles Burgos. And here comes Babacar Endong. 2 crossovers. They swing it around. Loyola to Burgos. Now it's at the corner. No good, but they get it back. Another try. That's 2 more points courtesy of Cabawatan.
And that's another offensive rebound in the part of St. Clair. And that's their 8th second chance point.
That was Cabawatan scoring on that second opportunity. Meanwhile, a steal right here by Loyola.
Great defense there by Loyola.
High pass to Babacar Endong. Sends it out. Charles Burgos will miss that 3, and the ball will go to the Stallions. 20.6 seconds remaining in our first half. Here comes Garcera. Jadi Antonio brings it down up against Cabawatan. Antonio will use the pick from Julian. He's harassed by Endong, and he will turn the ball over.
Great trap there by St. Clair, especially Endong for trapping that man, Antonio.
Yeah, 6.5 seconds remaining. It's 50-21. The attack, no good. Jadi Antonio, he won't hit it, and that'll be our first half, 50-21. A commanding lead for the St. Clair Saints as they continue to punish, to continue to bury their opponents down the grave. It's 50-21. Stallions really struggling in this ball game, and I think to some extent that was already that knowledge has already been known by the Stallions. They're gonna face a championship, and it's gonna be hard as we're seeing the Spalding play of the game. Hashtag the Tuck Spalding, the official ball of the NAASCU Season 22, as that is Charles Burgos a while ago powering his way inside. And again, those are the reasons why St. Clair is up 50-21. Our Spalding move off the game. Once again, that attack, fearless attack. +1 coming from Charles Burgos, powering the Saints into a very large lead come halftime, 50-21. And again, of course, hashtag the Tuck Spalding, the official ball of NAASCU Season 22.
For Don Benito's halftime stats for St. Clair, they're shooting a remarkable 61% in the field, grabbing 20 rebounds, and their bench points is 24, while their second chance points is 8 points. Samantala here naman for Manuel 𝐍𝐀𝐀𝐒 University, they shot 29% the field, only grabbed 16 rebounds with 13 bench points and 7 second chance points. So far, the leading scorers for St. Clair is Burgos with 9, Manzano with 8, and Sual with 6. For MLQU, It's Tolentino with 6, Castro with 5, and Antonio with 3.
St. Clair will look to continue their, or will continue to wreak havoc in the second half. As again, they're currently up by a bunch. That's 29 to be exact. And they're still not really slowing down as they've inserted Eustacio, Burgos, and Babacar Endong, their FSA, in this starting 5 of the second half. So you know they're out for blood.
We also have Gazigan in the lineup playing here for at the start of the third quarter.
Here comes St. Clair. Running plays like they're playing practice. Burgos inside. Big boy moves for Charles Burgos.
That's another power move by Burgos. And that's a good recognition para dito kay Eustacio.
Meanwhile, MLQU will try still to do their best to execute as Placido rises up. That is good. Off that friendly bounce.
That was a great cut by Placido. Cutting his man sleeping.
Acosta will fire in front of Steven Dino's face.
Wow, that was a great shot by Acosta.
St. Clair continuing to punish their opponents in different ways they can think of. That's going to be a foul called on St. Clair, specifically on Aaron Eustacio. First team foul of the Saints in this third period. Meanwhile, 𝐍𝐁 to the corner, Dino has nowhere to go. Almost a steal, just intercepted by Gazingan, but it'll stay with the Stallions.
They have 2 seconds in the shot clock to shoot this ball.
Jadi Antonio. That'll be a turnover, and they will send the basketball to St. Clair. (55-23). A 32-point lead in favor of the Saints. Eustacio, high pass, Babacar Endong. He has nowhere to go. That shot is no good. Acosta still not falling. And Antonio tracks down the basketball.
That was a great stop here by MLQU.
The attack. Castro unable to sink it. Here comes Aaron Eustacio. Almost losing it, but will recover. Eustacio will use the Babacar Endong screen. Eustacio. No good on that pull-up jumper. On the run is Garcera. He will send it out. Jadi Antonio. No good. A pushing foul called on the Stallions.
And that was on Castro. That's his second personal foul.
So here goes the St. Clair Saints. Acosta sends it to the right wing. 3-point attempt. Won't go for Lex Gazingan. And 𝐍𝐁 will attack. He will lose the basketball. Great defense from Lex Gazingan. And on the run is Burgos, but he slips out of it. So possession will go back to the Stallions. Three minutes passing by in chapter number 3. The Saints again up by 32. A tall order ahead of the MLQU Stallions. Meanwhile, that's going to be too high of a pass for Dino.
Yes, and that was an ambitious pass para dito kay Dino. And you can really sense that that play is going nowhere. As you can see, they're really having a hard time passing the ball because of the outstretched arms of St. Clair.
Estacio uses the pick, sends it out to Gazingan. They swing it around. At the corner, that was Acosta. But a foul will be called on MLQU's number 6, Hubert Castro.
That's his third personal foul. And he will be put to the bench for sub in by Julian.
Rebound grabbed by Enciso. That's no good. He will try one more time and finally goes in for MLQU.
That was a great effort for Enciso, not giving up on the play.
And you know, St. Clair just really finding different ways, different aspects of the game to destroy your opponents. I mean, look, they're shooting well from beyond the arc. I mean, if not necessarily well, they've shot some shots beyond the arc. They're also dominating the paint. They're playing good defense. So overall, really just St. Clair literally dominating every department.
And they're just reading the right plays and reading their defenders, looking for mismatches. And that's how you play it.
Definitely. You know, just like what we've said a while ago to the other teams, like if you want to treat yourself as a champion team, if you want to treat yourself as a team that, you know, can compete for not only the championship here, but, you know, in other leagues as well,
Yes.
you have to treat yourself as if ending games with a 30-point lead is just another day in the office for you.
Yes. Like their backs is against the wall. And this is the perfect way to see, perfect example of what St. Clair is doing.
Just like what the Fatima Phoenix did a while ago.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we've talked about them.
Yes.
They won to face St. Clair again in the finals. So, and, you know, winning by 15, winning by 20, winning by 30 will have to be, just like what I said, another day in the office for them. You know, you don't want to lose to teams you're supposed to win against. You don't want to lose to teams that, on paper, you're better than. But now we'll be turning it over first to Stephanie Benito for an in-game report.
The displeased coach Joshua Nicolas asked his team during timeout kung bakit pa sila nahihirapang mag-execute ng plays that were already made simple for them. Isa pa sa mga pinoproblema ni coach sa team ay ang rebounding daw ng mga ito. Madami na daw beses na dapat sa kanilang possession pero dahil sa maliyang rebounding ay nawawala pa. Last reminder ni coach Joshua for his team is to stop forcing shots. Sa panig naman ng Saints, isa lang, simpleng-simple lang paalala ni Coach Janino sa kanyang team. It's to don't commit errors as they have no room for one. Gentlemen?
Thank you very much, Steph, for that report.
Yes.
They're having this possession. Suwal will airball that shot. JB Lim will also miss that shot, but Suwal will get it back. St. Clair continuing to do some wonderful things in this game, just like that one.
A great find there by Lim for a cutting Manzano once again. And again, for MLQU, it's a great experience for them to witness how basketball should play.
But again, you know, it may be a great experience on one hand. On the other hand, it's a terrible nightmare to face. And you can see the body language of the Saints. I mean, you know, they have the luxury to be relaxed because you're up by a lot. You know what you can do. And if ever your opponent does catch up, you know that you can get the lead back easily.
Yes, that's correct. But you gotta give credit for MLQU for reading the right place. It's just that they're just missing baskets because of the tough defense that St. Clair is doing.
That Lim Manzano connection is working very well for the past, 3 fast breaks of St. Clair?
Yes, and that's the 4th assist of Lim already.
And, you know, yeah, I can't even actually blame MLQU. I mean, you know, it's not that they're playing bad, but their opponents are just really, really good.
Yes.
Meanwhile, the same guy, 𝐍𝐵 tapping the ring during that lay-in. You know, that says volumes about what kind of game this has been. They're up by 30, 61-31, and a timeout called by the Stallions. Back to the action right here. Again, it's 61-31. A dominating, commanding lead for the St. Clair Saints. 30 to be exact. And again, you know, you really can't even blame the Stallions. It's not like they're playing, you know, the worst basketball ever.
Yes.
It's just that St. Clair is playing, you know, probably one of the best basketball conditions ever. I mean, you know, play-wise, system-wise, you see they're all familiar with it. Conditioning-wise, everybody's running, everybody's
Yes.
jumping.
Athleticism-wise, they have the advantage.
Exactly, height-wise, you know,
Experience-wise
experience-wise as well, with not only with the players, with the coach.
Yes.
So, you know, how can you beat this team? And probably, you know, only one of the clear candidates to beat this team are the Fatima Phoenix. Or probably the Enderun Titans.
Yes, Enderun Titans is one team to watch on as well in this season.
That's definitely going to be a great matchup. Hopefully we'll see that soon enough. But for now, we can imagine it. Now, both teams have FSAs. Actually, Enderun has 2. So who knows? That might be the edge of Enderun if ever they do face each other. And I'm sure they will face each other
Yes.
somewhere in the eliminations.
You don't have to underestimate the new era as well. They played very well a while ago.
Exactly. They are another candidates to beat the Saints. Again, they do have an FSA in TJ Adams. They have great guards like Aldrich David. You know, it's complete. They have also great forwards in that system and great coach in Coach Jay Agsalud.
Yes.
Experience-wise, I mean, yeah, experience-wise, medyo lamang ang Saints.
Yes, for sure.
Because Coach Jay said that mostly rookies ang new era kanina eh.
Yes, that's correct. But they've been wanting to, their goal is to be in the championship finals this season. So it's a very tall order for them, but it looks like that's their motivation.
At least they're one of the candidates. Meanwhile, 𝐍𝐵, oh my goodness, did you see what he just did? He looked at his defender first, and then he proceeded to do what he did.
What a move there by 𝐍𝐵. As you take a look at that replay,
Let's take another look again.
talking
See?
about sizing up his man.
I mean, he looked at his defender in the eyes first for what, a second and a half? Then proceeded to bomb buddies in the air and then make the basket. And I don't know who upset the Saints, but looks like they're out for blood, they're angry. That'll be it. Just like that. First 3 quarters already done. And just like that, that's what happens if you upset the Saints. They punish you and give you a score of 67-33 at the end of the 3rd period. We return for more action. enter the fourth and final period. Again, St. Clair on the verge of actually reaching 100 points in this ball game. It is not impossible if they're still going to continue what they did. But right now we're seeing a couple of new faces for them, or perhaps rare faces, as we've already seen them a while ago, but only getting big minutes right now.
And another miscue there for MLQU. Dino thought that Antonio is in the left side corner.
You know, against a team like St. Clair, those kinds of mistakes really won't cut it. I mean, the
Yes.
moment you make errors, the moment you make your first error, St. Clair will take advantage of that.
Yes. And I understand Dino's intention to move the ball quickly, but unfortunately, Antonio is not there on that corner.
You know, not only will St. Clair make you pay for your mistakes, but they will punish you again and again and again.
Yes.
That's what kind of team St. Clair is. You know, I mean, knowing them, for sure, if you're champions for what? For the last 6 years, for the last 7 years, and counting, you know, you have to have that kind of attitude, and
Yes.
that is indeed what St. Clair is.
And for sure, MLQU will really sharpen their skill in this game playing against St. Clair, because they know moving forward that every time they commit an error, teams like St. Clair will really take advantage of you.
Exactly, and not only them, you know, St. Clair, Enderon, Fatima, those kinds of
Yes.
teams, you know, you really can't afford to commit a lot of mistakes
That's
against
true.
those kinds of teams. Because again, they will all punish you. Siguro sadyang yung St. Clair, they take an extra step in really punishing you.
Yes, yes. And this is a perfect example of Julian not trying to put an effort to disrupt the efforts and getting the rebound against Isabel.
And of course, in a different note, one of the PBA players that actually graduated and played college ball in St. Clair is Aris Junicio. He's
Yes.
now with the Magnolia Hotshots in the PBA. So definitely, safe to say St. Clair has produced
Yes.
a lot of great players through their program. And who knows, soon enough, that might be Aaron Estacio.
Yes, or even Manzano.
Well, Manzano is young, so he still has a lot of years with St. Clair, but
Or
Esta-
rather, Sowal.
yeah,
Sowal.
Sowal and Estacio are only going to be playing 1 year for St. Clair. Well, Sowal used to play for the Mapua Cardinals, transferred to St. Clair, so he's like a one and done, parang film lang. And
Yes.
then itong si Estacio, no, sadyang this is his last playing year. That's why he only has 1 year left. Interesting to see actually where, you know, where both of these players will end up after St. Clair.
It goes to show the product and the culture that St. Clair is building in terms of basketball. They have a nice program wherein a lot of collegiate schools are really scouting for their team.
Exactly. We also have the likes of Jimboy Estrada, also a product of the St. Clair Saints, who's now dominating the NCAA with the Letran Knights. I mean, am I missing anyone? That's obvious. But that time, still good. And St. Clair, you know, these are what the third stringers already continuing to, you know, turn on the jets. They continue to really push the gas pedal to its very limit until tumirik na yung sasakyan.
Oo, until maubos ang oras dito sa game na ito.
Exactly. And you know, that's what Coach Janino Manzala wants.
And they just really play the right way, reading their defender. And that's the reason why they're making a lot of baskets. So because St. Clair really picks the right players for their club.
And again, it's not like MLQU did a bad job. I mean, obviously, against a championship team, you could have done better. But it's not like they played the worst basketball ever.
Yes, yes.
It's just that St. Clair is really one good team.
Yes. You can't blame MLQU for not giving their best for today's matchup because they just outmatched by St. Clair.
And actually, deep down, I'm sure MLQU expected this. Because obviously, it's unspoken that if you have an FSA, you have an advantage. That's first and foremost. And then not to mention, your opponent is a 6-time champion. 6-time in a row champion.
Back to back to back to back to back.
To back to back.
To back to back.
To make it 6. You only said it 4 times. So, it reached to that point. And
And that's a challenge actually for St.
Yeah.
Clair because how do you sustain that championship mentality? Because sometimes it's a tall order also for being on the top for so long.
exactly. But, one thing's for sure. Fatima and Enderon will make life hard for them this season.
Yes.
Again, we've covered Fatima a while ago. We've covered Enderon a while ago. We all know what they're capable of. But right now, we'll be knowing what Steph's capable of as she'll give us an in-game report.
Coach Joshua Nicolas mentioned the same reasons na nakita niya rather during the third quarter kung bakit hindi sila makapuntos. It's because of their forced shots and their poor ball rotation. Masyado rin daw nilang pinipilit during transitions kaya unorganized sila tignan sa loob ng court. The only reminders he had now for his team before the timeout ends ay maging mindful naman sana sila inside the court and make better decisions. Sean, Coach Kito?
Thank you very much, Steph. And, you gotta give the credits as well to Coach Joshua Nicolas. I mean, obviously your team is getting crushed right now, but, you don't see any hint of what? Emotion from him. You
Yes.
don't see him blaming the players.
Yes, I was supposed to say that his demeanor and how he approached this game was really on point and really just encouraging his teammates to play the right way because for sure he also as a coach looks up at the standard of St. Clair.
And one thing's for sure, again, as a coach, I mean, you're basically the leader of your team, or at least one of the leaders. You already saw that there was a huge possibility that you're gonna get cooked because I'm saying it again. You're facing the champion team, so there's a high chance you're gonna get cooked. And one of the things you could actually make the experience easier and more positive is to let your players do their thing. Is to let your players just enjoy the game of basketball. And again, we give our props to Coach Joshua Nicolas. Of course, to his assistant coach and Miguel Gula as well. And of course to the players. I mean, obviously, I'm sure bago po yung laro, they're already laughing because they know for themselves we're gonna get cooked by St. Clair. But right now, again, you're not seeing anyone stopping. You're not seeing anyone slowing down. You see them enjoying the game. You see them still continuing to play despite being down by 2 months. And we have over 3 minutes remaining. The score is at 84 for St. Clair. It's not impossible to reach 100 points. And if they do reach 100 points, I mean, that's gonna be a statement.
Yes.
They want us into the whole league. I mean, we're the champs. We just scored 100 points. Our opponent scored only 40. Not even half of what we've scored. And if I'm Enderon, if I'm Fatima, I'm gonna be scared of St. Clair.
Yes, because it's like a statement game. If St. Clair wants to reach the century mark.
Again, we have to take note that, Fatima, one of their downsides in the season is a lot of them are new.
Yes.
Actually, that's the same almost with Enderon. A lot of them are sophomores because they, even though they were in rebuilding form last season, they reached the Final Four. But still, it's nonetheless a rebuilding form. And their players this season are only sophomores. So still, if you're gonna look at it, at that angle, St. Clair still has the advantage.
100%, as Coach Ralph mentioned a while ago, that 50% of his rosters are rookies.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a tall order also for Fatima to get the job done moving forward. But again, as we've said, bilog ang bola. So you'll never know. 'Cause sometimes these rookies are unknown. They're not scouted. And baka mamaya sila pa yung ma-discover and sila pa yung mag-contribute for Fatima University.
Exactly. Meanwhile, Joshua Russell just bringing out the handles out of nowhere. Where was that a while ago?
And right now, you can see a lot of, well, it's like a practice game for St. Clair.
What do you mean, like, it is a practice game for them? I mean, again, just like what I've said a while ago, if you want to be a champion team, pretty much you have to treat these kinds of games like it's
Yes.
nothing to you.
Yes, of
It's
course.
like just another day in the office. You almost scored 100 points. It's just another day in the office.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know what kind of office you're going into if that's the case for you, but it has to be another day in the office. Kumbaga, you have to hold yourself into a high standard.
Yeah, that's true naman, because that's what St. Clair is expected to be. And for sure, we all expect that St. Clair will be in the finals for this coming season.
Well, one thing's for sure, that is so far from impossible.
Oh, yes.
I mean, I don't even want to say that it's not, it's possible that they're not going to the finals. It feels wrong to say it. But I just think, I know the possibility of it not happening, but I won't say it anymore.
Looking at the roster and the skills of all the teams here in the NAASCU, you can see that they're really the formidable team.
Yeah. Again, we have the likes of Fatima and Enderon that we think will compete against them, but, we still have to see if they indeed can compete. And right now, the score is at 90. They're just 10 points away from 100 points, but a minute remaining. I don't think they're going to purposely reach that. Nonetheless, this is a statement game for them. I mean, you score more than twice of your opponent's output.
Yes.
Well, okay, not more than twice anymore. Or just a little bit.
It was 41.
Yeah, so, I mean, the moment they were up by 30, I didn't do the math anymore.
But yet again, great game for St. Clair, shooting 53% in the field, dominated the rebounds with 42, shared the ball with 26 assists, and they forced MLQ to commit 20 turnovers, and they converted 28 points. So
And
that seals the game for St. Clair.
And you know what's surprising? We're not even surprised. We know that this is the Saints. This is Saints basketball. We're not even surprised. At least for me, I'm not even surprised. I know that that's what they can do.
Yes, 100%.
And deep inside, before we started this game, I knew that they were gonna cook their opponents because again, they are the 6-time champions.
And if I'm MLQU, I feel respected as well because St. Clair played against the...
Exactly. But right now, Spalding move over the game is this out of nowhere move from Joshua Russell. I mean, I don't think I even see him attempt a shot before this
yes.
or make a shot. But this comes out of nowhere, and again, you've said it. Players that are almost unknown, and you don't scout them, so it's gonna be really a surprise for the next series of games.
Yes.
But right now, a familiar face. At least we're gonna see a familiar face for our Synergy best player of the game. Again, it's gonna be quite hard to determine since again it's a blowout win. A lot of players contributed to the side of St. Clair. But right now, good thing we have Miss Stephanie Benito to introduce to us our Synergy best player of the game.
Kasama ko ngayon si Clint Manzano na galing sa defending champions, St. Clair, since first off, Luis, sino si Luis? Congratulations on your victory in today's game. Siguro isa lang ang tanong ko para sa'yo. From the first to the last quarter, sobrang ganda na pinakita nyo. Hindi kayo nag-stand ng chance para lang malamangan nila kayo. Is that something that you guys really practiced on?
Yun lang po. Talagang in-ensayo lang namin na maigi. And yun, sa tulong po ng mga coaching staff namin. And yun, kailangan po talaga sa ensayo.
Talagang ginawa niyo lahat ng in-ensayo nyo. Talagang pinakita nyo here inside the court. Kaya naman, bibigyan kita ng pagkakataon to greet anyone that you wanted to greet. Go ahead.
Papasalamat po sa una-una kay Lord sa panalo na binigay sa amin ngayon. And yun, sana po pagtuloy pa at yun sa mga sumusuporta po sa akin yun sa Junior Bisaya, sponsors ng St. Clair, lalo kala Coach Gino, Coach JR, Coach Sunny, Coach Nico, Coach Bailen, and yun lang ba yun.
And again, Clint, congratulations on your victory, our Synergy player of the game.
Thank you very much, Stephanie.
Hi.
Once again,
Okay na?
that is Clint Manzana, our Synergy best player of the game. And again, just another day in the office for the St. Clair Saints as they crush their opponents into unidentifiable dust at that point. But right now, we'll be heading shortly to our last game of the day. It'll be the AMA University Kings going up against the homeowners, the Philippine University Dons. But right now, again, it's the Spalding play of the game, but this time with the side of MLQU, so at least a bright spot for them. But again, that'll be the end of the first 4 games. We'll be heading shortly into our 5th game, and this is once again NAASCU Season 22, Usad sa 22.